back in 1995, I started this little ministry out of my basement, and I called it the Small Group Network. And I've got this domain name, smallgroups.com. And over the years, we put articles on the web, and we grew it, and a number of people came along during the years to help this ministry to just grow and grow until it is what it is today. Just recently, Amy Jackson, who's the editor of smallgroups.com, asked me a very interesting question. She asked, what are some of the trends going on in small groups ministry today? What are some of the things that are going on in the churches and all around the world? And so I took a little poll of some of my small group ministry friends, asked them that question. What do you guys see as some of the trends going on in small group ministry today? And by far, the biggest one was this tension that a lot of small group ministry folks are talking about between making disciples and connecting people or assimilating people into the church. And what are small groups really for? Are they to help make fully devoted followers of Jesus Christ, or are they to help assimilate people into the church? And if they're both, then where do we put our energies? So that was the first one by far. And then second was the whole idea of being missional. And several people asked, what does it really mean even to be missional? For a church and a group to be missional. And once we figure out what it means to be missional, how do we do that? How do we go about becoming missional? And what are some of the theological underpinnings of all of that? The third biggest issue that came along was understanding the culture of our church and our community and how small groups fit into that culture, or should small groups, instead of fitting into a culture, should they be involved in helping to transition the culture of a church to becoming more missional or more disciple making, for instance? So those were the three biggest. Some of the other topics that people also were talking about was busyness. In a world where people are so busy and we live in such a consumeristic culture today, how do we help people to get into small groups? Another one was metrics. We were asked to provide metrics and measurements for how our small groups are going, and how do we do that, and which measurements and metrics are the most important. Another one that keeps coming up, and this has not changed over the years, but just helping people to get more involved in deeper, more authentic community life. And what does that look like, and how can our small groups achieve those? So those were just some of the big issues that small group leaders all over the country are talking about. And I am so happy, I'm so glad for smallgroups.com that this is a ministry that continues today to provide the kind of resources and articles and all kinds of other things to help small group ministers, to help small group leaders to succeed, to lead effective, healthy small groups today.